5 causes of visceral fat. Visceral fat is not the fat which you can pinch or you can see. It is the fat which is around your abdominal organs. You may have a really fat belly, but at the same time, you can have visceral fat. And this condition is known as toffee, thin outside but fat inside. Visceral fat can have really bad effect. It can lead to many serious medical conditions like high cholesterol level, high blood pressure, coronary artery diseases, liver inflammation, diabetes type 2, insulin resistance, stroke, and many more. These are the 5 things that are causing you gain that visceral fat. Trans fats. Here I'm going to talk about specifically hydrogenated soybean oil. Whether you think you consume it or not, let me promise you, it has become part of everyone's daily life, knowingly or unknowingly. There was a control study on monkeys that was published in the Journal of Obesity. They compared the monkeys that consumed trans fats via hydrogenated soybean oil versus those that consume monosaturated fats in the same amount. Well, they found that after 6 years, that the monkeys that consumed hydrogenated soybean oil had 33% more visceral fat and more insulin resistance compared to the control. If you think 6 years is a long time and the study was done on monkeys, then here's another study for you. The study was done on humans and it was published in a journal of nutrition and diabetes. And what they found out in the study that these changes start happening within as less as 16 weeks. If you're scared, then I would say don't be finicky about it. You can still consume things accidentally or once in a while. What is worse is the habit. Make sure that you do not consume hydrogenated soybean oil or products which has that regularly, like your peanut butter or many other products that you take out from the shelf. Alcohol can be helpful if you take it in small quantities, but it could be really dangerous if you consume it in high amount. Research shows that high alcohol consumption can lead to increased visceral fat. So try and reduce its consumption. What is important is not only to reduce its consumption, but also to be aware what kind of alcohol you are consuming, what amount of calories it is adding to your diet, and how often are you consuming. So try and reduce alcohol consumption to at least 3 times a week. High stress levels leads to increased belly fat by producing cortisol. Research shows that high cortisol levels leads to increased appetite and abdominal fat storage. What's more interesting is women who already have large waists tends to produce more cortisol in response to stress. To reduce your stress levels, you can start getting into these activities like yoga, meditation, mindfulness practices, breathing exercises, or go for simple walks in nature or involve in your hobbies. When you do that, you reduce your stress levels and feel calmer from inside. Studies found out that not getting enough sleep lead to your weight gain and increased belly fat or visceral fat. A 16-year study involving more than 68,000 women found that those who slept fewer than 5 hours per night were significantly more likely to gain weight than those who slept 7 hours or more per night. Interestingly, in another study at Wake University, found that people who slept 5 hours or less every night put on 2.5 times more belly fat than people who got adequate sleep. Experts say poor sleep alters the production of hormones that regulate your appetite and feeling of satiety, and that can increase feeling of hunger. Visceral fat thrives on sugar. Fructose or sugar causes fat cells to mature faster, especially if it's in visceral fat. So, cut out the high fructose corn syrup, reduce the amount of sugar intake in your diet by dumping sugary drinks, juices, sodas, refined grains, baked goods, and processed foods. And go for lower glycemic index fruits. That way, you are not running into the problem and you can watch your waistline shrink. What is important here to notice is obviously sugary foods make your belly become big or accumulates visceral fat. But what is more important, even good and healthy foods like real honey can lead to fat accumulation if you take it in excess. So, moderation is the key. Just a quick recap, make sure that you avoid consumption of trans fat, sugary drinks and foods, and not to forget fructose. Also, limit your alcohol intake, make sure you sleep well, and take care of your stress levels. So, these are the 5 things that are causing you gain that visceral fat. I hope you found this video informative. Do let me know by leaving a comment below. And if in case you haven't subscribed to my channel, then please go ahead and subscribe it. And don't forget to share it with your friends who have a fat belly or whom you think would have a visceral fat. Bye bye. Stay happy and stay healthy.